What's up, y'all? It's Lawrence Wilson. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time, welcome back to my channel. If it isn't, hey, today we're finally going to talk about Solange's album, her solo album, her debut album, Solo Star, released in 2002. Let's get into it.
Don't ever doubt you'll be someone. Always go for what you want. Get up and put your purpose on. Get up, feel the sunshine on your face. Believe that you deserve it all. Put in the work and you will end up far. This is my show and tell. So tell me, are you ready to get it on? So tell me, yeah. So tell me, are you ready? So tell me, are you ready for me? So tell me, are you ready? Tell me, are you ready?
Look, I know, right? Why did I draw it out that long? Because I had to keep like the suspense going, but I just want to show y'all something really quickly. I have the Osmosis Jones soundtrack, like I mentioned in the last video when I opened the package, but the Solo Star that's on this album is different from this one. I wanted to point that out, and I'm going to talk about that as soon as later when I get into the video. But let's just get into this retrospective. When I first heard this album, I was extremely young, and my older sister had this on bootleg. See, at the time, it must have been like some kind of like y'all say Napster. What else was out? Whatever was out where you could legally download music. I don't know if LimeWire was out at the time, but yeah, absolutely remember her having this on bootleg and actually not having the CD, but I bought her a copy and I got me a copy just to do my due diligence, and I'm glad I got one with the hype sticker on it, and I opened it brand new because y'all know how I feel about that kind of stuff. And yeah, came home one summer, she had it on bootleg, and she was like, oh my god, I hate to say it like this, no shade, oh my god, but Beyonce's little sister, she can sing. And I'm like, Beyonce has a little sister. You know, I only knew Beyonce, I guess, from, you know, Destiny's Child at that time. So she played the record, and I was just like, wow, she actually sounds like her sister, you know, but like different. And we can pinpoint what the difference was, but hey, individuality is, hey, it's a thing. But, you know, Solange has her own individuality and her own style. She's completely different from her sister. Even though they are related, they may sound a lot alike. And the reason why, now that I bought the album and read through some of the liner notes, the reason why a lot of the songs or the vocal production or the vocal choices or harmony sounds reminiscent of her sister is because Beyonce vocal produced some of the stuff on this album. For an example, like I said, from the Solo Star on this album and the Solo Star on this album. So let's get into it real quick. Solange's Solo Star. So track 1, you got Feelin You. Part 2, featuring the rapper N.O.R.E. I love N.O.R.E. Grimy. And then he's doing Drink Champs right now. Shout out to you. I would love to be on that show one day. Let me release like at least a couple of albums and that do well. Get some popularity under my belt. People actually know who I am. But I would love to be on that show. You know, I don't know if I can hang with you with the drinking and all, but I would love to be on that show. Love Drink Champs. You got Feelin You Part 2, and there's a couple of parts on this album, but I'm going to get back to that. But Feelin You Part 2, it has like a reggae island type feel to it. That was originally the album's theme and approach, I heard, but then they continued with the R&B theme. So even though it sounds like that, like in Solange's own words, it's still an R&B song, and it is. This whole album is an R&B record. So Feelin You, it's about, you know, a guy that she's feeling. She's scared to talk to him. She doesn't know if she should believe everything that he's saying, because how does she know this is not all the same stuff he's saying to other guys? You know, normal stuff teenage girls go through. I think she was probably like 15 during this album. Solange did a lot of writing on this album. Speaking of writing, hold that thought. Speaking of writing, she did a lot of writing on Kelly Rowland's Simply Deep. This was just released, I think, a couple of months before her solo album. She wrote the title track, Simply Deep, and I believe she wrote Haven't I Told You, and a few other, another track on here. And it even says featuring Solange on the hype sticker, if you can see it. But yeah, track 2 She wrote track 1. That was my emphasizing that. Track 2, you have Ain't No Way. It's a really upbeat song. Ain't no way, ain't no way. A little simple, you know, hook and stuff, you know, just like a bridge to get to the next song. She didn't really write this song, but she sang it very well. I really like how she sings all these songs. There wasn't a dull moment on this album as far as Solange's vocals and what she can do vocally. H. Mason Jr. and D. Thompson and E. DeMarcus wrote this song and produced this song. So that's who put together Ain't No Way. It's very reminiscent of what was going on at this time, like B2K. It sounds like it could have been a B2K song. Speaking of which, you have track 3, Dance With You, featuring B2K. So all like that production style that you hear, like that pop R&B that was very popular at the time. You can hear that in the Ain't No Way production style. And you can definitely hear it in the B2K duet or feature, Dance With You, which was written by Marcus Houston. Marcus Houston did a lot of B2K's songwriting, if you guys didn't know. Jay Jones, K. SQ, and Solange, of course, T. Oliver, K. Kessie. There are a lot of people who wrote on this album, including Solange herself, which is pretty cool. I love that B2K song because it's very upbeat. I wish it had a video. That would have been pretty dope. I'm sure my sister would have screamed her head off if it had all of that. So next we have next we have Get Together. So next we have track 4, Get Together. Now I really like this song because it reminds me of Aaliyah's Try Again. I love the beat loop. I don't know if they used the actual beat or the actual sample, but it sounds like whatever machine that they used to put the Try Again beat together was probably the same machine, or it's the actual sample, which is pretty cool. And I like the spin that Solange put on it, her own spin. I love the hook. I love the way that she's singing over it. And who wrote this? Hey, it's a T. Mosley and a Sean Garrett song. That's why it sounds like that. See, this is why it's important. If you don't go to Wikipedia and wait for the page to load, you can just open the album and read the liner. See, that's why I should have had that for the N.O.R.E album. So in here it says, Get Together is produced and written by Static Major, Sean Garrett, T. Mosley, and yeah, that's why it sounds like that. That's pretty dope. Isn't that cool? She got a Timbaland and a Static Major song on here. Me and my sister were always like, it sounds like Aaliyah. That's why it sounds like Aaliyah. So track 4, Get Together. Track 5, one of my favorite songs off this album, you got Crush, produced by Pharrell Williams. I just love that doom doom doom, Crush, doom doom. Just love all of that. It definitely gives you summertime vibes. Yeah, just go listen to it if you never heard Solange's Crush off of her first album, Solo Star. This is track 5, produced by Pharrell Williams. Pharrell Williams was the hottest producer at this time. He was to become the producer of the decade, really, with the Neptune sound. So yes, Crush, So Be It. I love that song. I love the piano. And I really like that Solange writes a lot of her own music. Yeah. So Be It. Solange Knowles and T. Jackson, that's who wrote the song. And you have, I'm trying to find some lyrics so I can read it to y'all. Yeah. So yeah. Track number 6, So Be It, written by Solange Knowles and T. Jackson. It's about, it looks like it's about a relationship, about putting in 50-50. You do your part, I do my part, if you really want it to work out. I really like the lyrical content of it. I really like the piano in the song. That's what catches you in the beginning. The arpeggios, that's what it sounds like to me. But yes, track number 7, you have True Love featuring Lil Romeo, another one of my favorite tracks. We just talked about Lil Romeo. Now, this song is actually featured on Lil Romeo's second album, Game Time, which is not on streaming platforms. Shame, shame, and this is why owning physical copies is still important. I'm gonna look for a copy of Game Time. We might do a retrospective on that too. Y'all let me know if that's what y'all want. It's and as well as some Lil Bow Wow too, because it's only fair to talk about him too. And yeah, but yeah, focusing back on the Lil Romeo track on this album featuring Solange, but vice versa, True Love, duet with Lil Romeo. So it's Solange featuring Lil Romeo, or duet, whatever you want to call it. But to me, it's a duet. It's a Luther Vandross sample. Lil Romeo, Master P had their hand in songwriting all of this. And again, shout out to Master P. One of my favorite songs. Nothing screams summertime like this song. So yeah, True Love is one of my favorite songs off this album. Track number 8, you got Feel Good Song. Again, Solange Knowles getting writing credit with A. Jackson and S. Jackson. I love the guitar that they use in it, the hand claps, the production, and the way that she's singing it. It does give you like that fresh breath air, that car ride type, feel. You know what I'm saying? 9, you got Wonderland, L. Perry, that better be Linda Perry. Look, Rock Wilder and Solange Knowles. I don't know which L. Perry they're talking about. I only know one. But Wonderland, I really like that song too because of the production style and her harmonies. Solange knows she can harmonize with herself very well. This could be Love. Solange Knowles, P. Young, T. Jackson, and all those folks, all those people. I like this song a lot too. I really like the harmonies and the beat and the vibe. It's very like, sing-songy, back and forth. Hungry, 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 hungry. Like a back and forth like that. 12, Just Like You. Just Like You, I really like this song because it reminds me of a Destiny's Child song or Beyonce singing something when she was younger, you know what I mean? But when I looked at the liner notes, it says Beyonce Knows in the liner notes. I was like, that's why it sounds like that. Because she wrote it along with Solange Knowles, D. Elliott, and R. Antonio. Just Like You. Girl, I'm just like you. Sounds just like, what did I sing it like? Girl, I'm just like you. I don't know why I'm acting all shy, but like that is another one of my favorites off this song. Yeah. Number I think I skipped a whole track because of the way that they have like the songs like going like lined up. They're not like lined up under each other. They're like going in like different directions. But the song before that obviously would be track 11, which is Feelin You Part 1. Feelin You Part 1 is just the version was just Solange Knowles vocals on it with no N.O.R.E, no rapping vocals on it. And it's very reminiscent of when Destiny's Child put out their first album and they had part 1s and part 2s and stuff like that, and along with their second album as well. So I like that. I like that they kept that theme up. It's like kind of like an Easter egg that like Solange is existing in that universe, what have you. I don't know if that was intentional, but there's definitely a part 1 and a part 2 to Feelin You on here, and I like that. Part 1 again, it's just the one with Solange Knowles vocals, so if you just couldn't get enough of her vocals the first time, they gave you a second hit with no rap vocals. So Feelin You Part 1, and going straight into track 12, Just Like You, the song produced and written by Solange Knowles and her sister, and D. Elliott and Antonio. R. Antonio? Track 13, Thinkin About You, featuring Murphy Lee of the Saint Lunatics. Now, I'm telling you, at this time, Murphy Lee was extremely popular. He was slated to be the next coming of Nelly, really. So, yeah, Murphy Lee was everything. And this was a song featured on the Scooby-Doo soundtrack. Solange has a few songs on this album that was featured on soundtracks, including Thinking About You, the title track, Solo Star, which is right after this track, and there was another track. There was another track that was featured on the soundtrack. Let me see. I don't remember which one, but it could be either Wonderland or Feel Good Song? It has to be. It's one of these songs. Sorry for the long pause, but the point is she had a few songs that was featured on soundtracks on her first album, including Solo Star and Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo, it's not called Scooby-Doo, it's called Thinkin About You, but it's from the Scooby-Doo movie. But yeah, the following track after that is Solo Star, and interesting enough, this is written by Candy Burris. Some of it was rewritten by Beyonce Knowles and T. Karim, Solange Knowles, and Matthew Knowles. That's the Solo Star in this version from her album. Now, the Solo Star in the Osmosis Jones version, it was written and produced by, let's see, some of it should be the same, if not a little bit altered, because the song sounds different on this album. So yeah, still written by Candy Burris. So Solo Star is a Candy Burris song. And then you have Talib Karim, Beyonce Knowles. All right, you still got Beyonce in there, and yeah, that's about it. But it looked like there's just two versions. Period. The version that's on here, the B hook. I don't even know how to describe it. There's the bridge is a little different. And the B hook is a little different. There's a guitar in it. There's more background vocals. There's more harmonies. It's just a little more flavor. I would sing it for you, but I'll leave that to y'all imagination. Just go check out both versions of Solange's Solo Star. There's some cool pictures of her in the album lineup. Well, my cat wants all my attention. Everybody wants all my attention right now. Now that I'm finally doing this. So 15, I Used To, which is a beautiful song. That could have been the song that was on another soundtrack, but I love the harmonies, of course, on I Used To. And the arrangements, again, co-written by Solange Knowles. And Skyway, which is the final track, Skyway, the final track on this album. Beautiful album, beautiful rundown. There's not a skippable track on here. It's a 10. It gets a 10 from me. There's a few bonus tracks on this album, like Feelin You, Chopped and Screwed, and Naive, which is another song that was written and produced by Solange Knowles and her sister Beyonce, and it actually features Beyonce and Debrat. And there's another song that is on here. This Song's For You. And altogether, I believe it's about like 18, 19 songs. And on Apple Music, there's an even more extended version because it has instrumentals and all that kind of stuff. And I need to go buy a USB CD-ROM because when you plug this in, all of these perks pop up like childhood performances, guest performances, special guests like B2K, Murphy Lee. Like, I need to pop this in so I can see what's on here on the CD-ROM. But that's my retrospective of Solange's 2002's debut album, Solo Star. It definitely gets a 10 for me. It should have gotten way more promotion and accolades that it got at the time. But that's neither here nor there. And she definitely makes up for a lot of her other music that's out. I'm definitely not disappointed. I've always been a Solange fan. I've always been a fan of the Knowles, period. So, yeah, shout out to you. All right, y'all, I gotta go. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.